Hi guys, good afternoon. So in the last session, we have seen about the basics of your ASA. So today we'll be covering about the security levels. Okay, in the last session, we had also designed our lab. And now today, let's move on towards the security context mode. Okay, so we have seen about the unsupported features. We have seen what are the firewall modes. Deployment types we have seen. Now we have to talk about the security levels. So what are security levels? So what your ASA does, ASA assigns security levels to distinguish between the inside and outside network. Okay, only in ASA we have this concept of security levels. In other firewalls, we don't have this concept. No, ASA. Okay. So these security levels, they define the trustworthiness or the how much trust or level of trustworthiness of a particular interface. So understand here. Let's say, for example, this is your ASA. This is the ASA firewall, and these are the three zones. So let's consider this is your V0 by 0 interface. This one is your Z0 by 1 interface. Or let's consider 2, which we will consider as the outside. This one is Z0 by 1. Now let's consider this zone. This is the inside zone where we will connect the LAN network. This is the outside zone. And this is the DMZ zone. Okay. Now, if we do not assign a, if you do not assign a security level, what will happen? That ASA cannot distinguish between the zones. So with a keyword, okay, ASA knows only two keywords. Okay, like there are only two default settings for the security level. What are they? That if you give a name inside to any interface, if you give a name inside to an interface, it will by default take security level as 100. And any other name, okay, whether that be anything you security level outside or like DMZ, any name you give to a particular interface, it will take a security level 0. Okay, and the range of your security level, if we talk about, okay, security level range, so it is from 0 to 100, where 0 is least trusted or untrusted, and 100 is most trusted. So a security level defines the trustworthiness of a particular interface. So if you assign the name as inside, it will take a security level by default as 100. If you assign a name anything other than inside, then it will take security level as 0. Okay. Then it will take a security level as 0. Now what will happen? That your ASA follows the waterfall model. This is the waterfall model. Okay. Where you have a security level 100. Okay. This is the lower security level. So what is this waterfall model? That your traffic will flow from higher security level to lower security level. From a lower security level to higher security level, your traffic cannot flow. Okay. So right now, if I say that, okay, we have inside, outside, and DMZ. So can you tell me from where to where the traffic can flow and from where to where the traffic cannot flow? Yes, guys. Tell me about the zone from where to where we will have the traffic flow and from where to where we won't have the traffic flow. Yes, please.
Inside to outside, it will flow. Inside to DMZ, it will flow.
Okay. Inside to outside, it will flow, and inside to DMZ, it will flow. So let me open the pen. Okay. So from inside to outside, it will flow. me change the color. From here to here it will flow, and inside to DMZ it will flow. What about outside to inside?
It will not flow.
It will not flow. Why? Because it is going from lower security level to high security level. Okay. What about DMZ to inside?
It will not flow.
It will not flow again. Why? Because again going from lower to high security level. Okay. What about outside to DMZ? So now here we have the same security level. The security level is same, which is 0. Okay. And by default, okay, by default, same security levels, by default, same security levels will not communicate. In ASA, by default, same security levels will not communicate. Okay, so that means even this communication neither from outside to DMZ nor from DMZ to outside. This communication will not be there. Okay, now what? If you want to provide communication between the same security level, so even if you configure AXIS, I mean, even if you configure ACLs, still you will not be able to communicate. Even ACL cannot permit the traffic between same security level. Okay. So for this reason, you have to use a dedicated command. Okay. In ASA, we have a dedicated command to allow communication within the same security level, which is same security traffic. Okay. The command is same security traffic permit interface. Okay. So what will happen? That it will allow communication between two different zones with the same security level. Okay. This is how you can allow the same security traffic. But again, understand that if you execute this command, then what will happen? That this outside and DMZ zone, these zones with the same security level, they will just start behaving like a router only. That means here all the traffic will be allowed. All traffic will be allowed. Otherwise, normally what happens? That from inside to outside, when the traffic goes out, so return traffic, what is allowed? Only TCP and UDP return traffic is allowed by default in ASA. But if you give the same security traffic command, then within the same security level zones, all the traffic will be allowed without any restriction. Okay. Now, first of all, we will understand, how to assign this security level, how to, assign the names to the interfaces. Okay. Those things we will understand. So let me go back here. So the higher the security level, more trusted the interface. Okay, so the security level, it ranges between 0 to 100. 0 is untrustworthy and 100 is very trustworthy. Okay, so if you want to configure an interface on the ASA, you must remember that the ASA interface must have a name, okay, and it must have a security level from 0 to 100, anything in between. Okay, it is not mandatory that either you give 0 or 100. You can give any security level between 0 to 100. Okay. And the default settings, about the defaults, we have already understood that if the name is inside, it will take the security level as 100. If any other name, it will take security level as 0. Okay. And then you will configure an IP address if your firewall is in routed mode. Routed mode means your firewall will be working as a L3 device. Okay. So now let's understand, how you will be configuring it. So here, this is the name if command that you will be using on the ASA. Okay, and using the name if command, what we will be doing, we will be assigning the name to an interface. Okay, so let's go first to our lab, and in our lab, we will see practical. Okay, that's good that the devices are already up. We don't have to wait for long. Let me take ASA access. then inside router 1, inside router 2, DMZ, outside router 1, outside router 2. Okay. So right now we can check, all the devices they are show IP interface B. So we can see that the interface is up, all the IPs are assigned, all good. Now ASA we have to configure. So enable, and by default, like in the last, okay, yesterday we have seen that by default there is no password on the ASA. So let me open that notepad. Okay, notepad. This was the notepad we created. So here we all know that, okay, by default there is no password. Let me put up a note here. There is no password configured on ASA by default. Right. Signing security legal plan. Here there is no password by default. So in ASA, if you want to check the IP configuration, the command is show interface IP brief. Okay. Like in the router, you use what? Show IP interface brief. Here the command is show interface IP brief. This is the command. Okay. This is the command to check the IP configuration. IP configuration. For that, the command is show interface IP brief. Okay. And if you want to check whether security levels are configured or not, okay. So how you can check? You can use the command show name. Okay. You can use the command show name. So right now you can see that by default there is no security level configured because we haven't configured the interfaces. Okay. Now what I'll do, I'll just go and configure the IP addresses, but I'm not going to configure what? I'm not going to configure the names. Okay. First of all, we will configure the ASA interfaces as a router only. We will not configure the names, and we'll see what difference does it make. Okay. What is the role your name is plays in an ASA? So go to global configuration mode. I'll say interface. Okay. And if I check in my topology, that ASA Z0 by 0 interface will have 10110, Z0 by 1 will have 10220, then Z0 by 2 will have 11110, and management will have 10330. Okay, so let's configure this. Okay. So I'll say interface Z0 by 0. I'll simply say IP address 10110.255.255.255.0, and I'll say no shutdown. Okay, check. to interface IP. So this is configured, right? IP address is configured.
Yeah.
Interface is up. Let me try to ping, right? Let me try to ping from the R1 to the router. Okay, so I mean to the ASA. So I'll go to inside router one. I'll say ping. First of all, let me say 10.1.1.126. Is it pinging R2 or not? So it is pinging R2. Is it pinging my ASA? So IP address has been configured on the interface, but the interface is not enabled yet. Okay, it is showing you that okay, it is in the up state, but the interface has not been enabled. So you will not have communication until or unless you configure what? The name here, the name to the interface. Okay. So this interface is in up state. It is showing you everything is up, status is up, protocol is up, but still no communication. Why? Because name if is not configured. So what do you do? Interface v0/0. Say name it inside. Now inside is a keyword that will by default take your security level as 100. Okay, hit enter, and you see I got a log that security level for the inside interface set to 100 by default. And then I'll say show name to check that yes, the interface v0/0 has taken the name inside and having the security level as 100. Okay, so this is how you can check. Then configure the name on an interface. So how do you configure a name? This is how you configure a name. Okay, so now let's try the communication. Earlier, because I was not having the meaning, I was not able to communicate. And you see, now I'm able to communicate. I have the communication. So this is the role your name is plays. Name and security level on an interface plays in case of Cisco ASA. Okay. So a note, if an ASA interface is not configured with the name and security level, it will not be enabled. Okay. The port will come up or the interface will come up. The interface will come up. IP address will be configured. Protocol will come up, but there will be no communication. Okay, this is how it happens in the ASA. This is clear. Now, let's configure other interfaces also. So right now you saw that, on ASA, if I give the name inside, it is by default taking the security level to 100. Now, if I will configure any other name, anything other than inside, then it will take what? 0. So right now we are going to give the name DMG also and outside also. So let me say interface v0 by 1. Name it DMG. IP address 10.2.2.10 255.255.255.0. So you can see I gave the name as DMG. Now this is something different than your inside. So by default, it has taken security level as 0. Okay, same thing will happen on the outside also. So interface v0 by 2, name it outside. Automatically taken security level as 0. IP address 11.1.10.255.255.255.0 and no shutdown. Okay, these three interfaces are configured. Now let's configure the management interface. Interface M0 by 0. Name it management. Okay, now you see here when I give the management name also, it has taken what? Security level as 0 only. So my management network is something that should be trusted so that I can manage my firewall. Okay, so here I have to assign the security level 100. But the thing is, how do I assign manual security level? So to assign a manual security level, you will use the command security level. And what is it you want to assign? I want to assign 100. So this way I can assign a manual security level also. Okay. So then I can go with IP address. IP address 10.3.3.10.255.255.255.0. Same way, let's say DMZ, I don't want to keep it what? I don't want to keep it okay, later on we'll come to this. That first of all, I'll tell you about the same security concept, and then later on we'll change the security level for DMZ. Okay, so now if I say show name it, so now you can see all the security levels are properly configured. Okay, so let's connect this. So this is how it works. And in normal scenarios, we'll keep it 50. Okay. All right. So if you want to assign manual security level, okay, here two more things. The name inside will by default take security level 100. Then or any name other than inside will take security level this. Okay, any name other than the inside will take the security level as 0. So if you want to manually assign security level, so how can you manually assign? You will go to the interface and will give the command. So here, this is how you will be assigning manually. After that, what will happen when you will check the security level? You will find that okay, now it is 100. This is clear. Any doubts so far? Yes, please. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Okay. So next thing is what that we have to understand about the changes in the security level. Okay. What do I mean here? That one time you set, okay, once you set a interface with a security level, it will remain unchanged. Okay. What does it mean? Let's say here, okay, understand that on my G0 by 2 interface, I have given the name outside. And because I have given the name outside, what will be the default security level? 0. Now, even if I change the name of this particular interface, this security level will not change. Okay. What I'm trying to say is, let's say I'm going to say interface V0 by 2. And as per current scenario, the security level is what? 0. So if I go and say name it inside, if I say name it inside, what will happen? The name of the interface will change, but the security level will not change until or unless you manually give a command to change. Okay. So if I hit enter, so what will happen? Okay, right now the name is conflicting. So let me do one thing. I'll take one more firewall here so that I can show you properly. Let it come up. So this is an ASA one coming up. So what will happen that one time you have assigned any name or any security level is assigned. So after that, even if you change the name, the security level will not change. Okay, the security level of the interface will not change. Okay, so this is one rule that you have changed the name, so your security level will remain 100 only. So you can see the name of command, it is used to name the ASA interfaces or zones. And without this command, the interface will not be operational even if you are setting up the IP address. So even if you set the IP address, the interface will not be operational, and there will be no communication by default. Now see here, configuration terminal, and if I say show interface IPv, these are the interfaces. So let's say on interface V0 by 1, I'll say name it outside. Okay, any name I have given. So what is the security level it has taken? It has taken the security level as 0. Show name it. So the security level is 0. But on the same interface, if I now go and say name it inside, so it is not like, now if I give the inside name, then the security level will change to 100. No, this will not happen. When you give the first time name, okay, for the first time you give the name as inside, that time it will set it 100. After that, it doesn't matter. One time, whatever is set, it's set. No, it will not change. See here. Let's say, let me just go address default. Command is not there here. Okay. So interface v0 by 0, no name inside, or let me say clear feature interface. Okay, so you can check show name. So right now no security level. Okay, so if I say that interface v0 by 0, and if I say name is inside, so as soon as I'll give the inside name, it will take security level as 100. Now if I change the name to the outside, my security level will still remain 100. So name is, you can see right now it is 100. Now I'll say interface v0 by 0, name is outside, and again let's say still it is 100, name is outside. Whenever you set a name for the first time, then only the default settings will be applied. Once the security level is assigned, after that it will not change. Okay, even after you change the name. So even if we are changing the name, the security level will not change. This will happen only for the first time. Is that clear? Yes or no? Very clear, right?
Yes, yeah. Mm.
Okay, great. Now, if you want to change it later, in that case, you have to manually give the command like security level, and let's say according to outside, I want to keep it 0. Now I can change it. So now it will change. Okay. For the first time, it will take the default settings, and after that, you have to manually change it. Automatically, it will not change by changing the name. So you have kept the name as inside. So by default, it will take the security level 100. And after that, even if you change the name to DMZ, it will still remain 100 only. Okay. And whenever you give the name inside, by default, it will take security level as 100. And anything other than inside, it will take the security level as 0. Okay. So I believe now this thing is about name is clear. Great. So security levels for the DMZ servers, we generally keep it 50, because see what happens. By default, what will happen? Like as of now, as of the default condition, if we say, so I have given the name inside. Okay, I have given the name inside. So according to inside, the security level is what? 100. According to the inside name, the security level is 100. And here, the security level, by default, it is 0. On the outside, it is security level is 0. And on the management, manually we have set it. By default, it was 0. Manually, we did set it to. So security level, so we have set it to 100. Okay. So now what? In the DMZ, we keep our internet facing servers. Okay. So what will happen that by default, if I'm keeping an internet facing server here that is going to provide service to my internet users. Okay. So by default, if I keep the security level at 0 only, there will be no communication. So my internet people, they will not be able to access it. They won't be able to access it. And if I use, let's say on the ASA, I go and give the same security traffic command. On the ASA, if I give same security traffic command, In that case, what will happen? Everything will be allowed. Now, I cannot restrict it. They will access everything, and from here also, entire access can be done. That means there are good chances your internet facing servers will be getting compromised, and you cannot filter the traffic using the ASA. Why? Because entire traffic will be permitted. So, what do I want? That when from outside to inside some people are accessing or they are trying to access, so my traffic should be selectively permitted. My traffic should be selectively permitted. Means what? Whatever the traffic, okay, if I am running an HTTP service and I want to allow communication over HTTP only, so these guys should be able to access HTTP only. No other traffic should come in. Okay. So I can selectively permit the traffic if my security level here is higher. Okay. And since it is higher security level, what will happen? It will be able to send all the traffic. Okay. So we generally keep it 50. Okay. That is an average. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to do and say here we will keep the security level at 50. Okay. So let me go to the ASA. Remove it. Not quite. So interface DMZ security level is 50. Interface V0 by 2. DMZ V0 by 1. And security level is 50. Okay. Security level is 50. So this is how it is. Then I'll say show, name it, and now you can see that we have changed the security level to 50. Now we will verify that, like I said, from higher security level to lower security level, everything is permitted. Okay, so from here to here, my traffic flow will be there. Okay, so what I'm going to do, first of all, I'm going to go and check that is there any communication. Okay, I'm going to go and check is there any communication from my inside R1 to outside R1. So what do you think, guys? Will there be any communication or not? Okay, what do you think? Will there be communication from inside R1 to outside R1? No. Why? Praveen says yes, and Virat says no. So why? Why the communication will not be there, Viraj?
If we ping 11.1.125, it will generate the echo packet, but by basically ASA will not outside to inside echo reply will not become to 10.1.125. It means R1 not getting the echo reply from outside R1 router.
Correct. Okay. So what will happen? See, when you let's say you try to communicate, you just try to ping from inside R1 and you'll say 11.1.1.125. So this system, it will generate what? ICMP echo request. ICMP echo request. In this request, the source IP will be 10.1.1.125. Destination IP will be 11.1.1.125. And what will happen? This ICMP echo request will come to the ASA. ASA will check that, okay, this traffic is going from a higher security level to a lower security level, and higher to lower, allow. So your request will come here. Then what will happen? This guy, 11.1.1.125, this guy will generate a response. Okay. So ICMP echo reply. So in the ICMP echo reply, what will be the source IP? Source IP will be 10.11.125. Destination IP 11.11.125. Oh, is it? Sorry, my mistake. Reverse 11 and this will be 10. Okay. So now this message will come to the ASA. Okay. But ASA does not inspect. No inspection by default. No inspection for ICMP by default. By default, there will be no ICMP inspection. Okay. So if no ICMP inspection, there will be no entry in the connection table. And if there will be no entry in the connection table, this will be dropped because ASA will see that, okay, it is going from lower security level to higher security level. So that means this traffic will not be permitted. But we will be able to see that from higher to lower, we will get the request. So this will prove what? That from higher security level to a lower security level, everything is permitted. Okay, your ICMP is also permitted, your TCP UDP is also permitted. So this will be permitted, but the response will not be allowed. Okay, so let's verify this. So what I'll do, I'll just go to the inside R1. Okay, and first of all, on the ASA, let me change the host name. Okay, and let me write the configuration. Okay, now from, okay, first of all, check the connection table, show connection. So right now there is no communication, so there is nothing in the connection table. Then go to the inside router one, enable and ping 11.11.125. So if I will check, I'm not getting any response here. How do I make sure that my packets are reaching the outside router one or not? So for that reason, what I'll do, I'll go to the outside R1 and here I'll enable debug. Okay, so I'll say debug IP ICMP. So that ICMP packet debugging will be on. And here we will be able to see what are the ICMP responses your outside R1 is sending. So let me go here. And you will see. Okay. And if I check the connection table here, you will see in my connection table, I got an entry. Okay, I got an entry. But still there is no inspection, so your ASA will not allow it. Okay, entry will be there, but your ASA will not allow it. You can see that I'm not getting the communication, even though from the outside R1. Okay, from the outside R1, what is happening here? You see, your outside R1 is receiving the request and it is saying that I am sending what? ICMP echo reply. In the message, what is the source IP? In the reply message, the source IP is 11.11.125. What is the destination IP? 10.11.120. Okay. So I can see that my ICMP traffic is coming from my inside router 1 to the outside router 1. But my ASA is not allowing what? The response. Why? It is considering it is going from lower security level to higher security level. And by default, since there is no ICMP inspection, so ASA will not permit the return traffic. Is that clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what if the traffic is TCP or UDP? Let's check. So for TCP and UDP, we have enabled, telnet and SSH. So let me try, let me go to the inside R1 and let me try to take a telnet access. ICMP was not permitted. Let me try to take a telnet access for 11.11.125. And do you see? I have the access. Let's go. From inside R1, I am able to take a telnet access of your outside router 1. Okay. And if you check the connection table, right, in the ASA, if you check the connection table, okay, right now it is removed. Let me take the access again. Okay, now I should see. So if you see, when I generated the traffic, my traffic was going from inside to outside. Because from here, okay, I tried to take an access from here to outside R1. That means the traffic flow direction was this. My traffic was going from inside to outside. But how my ASA is making the entry in the connection table? It is making a reverse entry. Okay, the ASA is making a reverse entry. And how it is making the reverse entry? That okay, TCP connection. Okay, check it directly in the ASA itself. That TCP connection, and from outside 11.11.125 port number 23, the traffic will be coming to inside 10.11.125, and this is the port number. So looking at this reverse entry, okay, it will not make like, okay, from inside it went to outside. No, because looking at the connection table, it has to allow the replies. So it will use outside to inside. So it is saying that, okay, if it is coming from this IP, going to this IP, allow the communication. And that is the reason we got it. Okay. That is the reason that we got the telnet access. Okay. Because telnet, what is the port number used by telnet?
23.
Port number 23. And whenever you are telling the port number, please make a habit that you always mention whether it is using TCP or UDP. Okay. This is important to mention, that you will always mention port number 23, TCP or UDP. What about DNS? What is
53 UDP.
53 UDP? Only UDP or TCP also? Or only TCP?
You can run both.
It can run both. So in which case TCP, in which case UDP? Your DNS, in which case it will use TCP, in which case it will use UDP.
I cannot recall, but there is a flag which needs to be set. If that is set, it will be TCP. I don't remember the exact flag name.
Actually, what is the thing? That if your data size,
Okay.
if your data size, it is greater than 512 bytes, then it will use TCP. And if your data size is less than 512 bytes, it will use UDP. So you can say like in most of the resolutions, okay, name to IP, IP to name, it will use UDP. And while transferring some information, like when DNS is performing zone transfers, okay, when your data size is greater than 512 bytes, in that case, it will go with the UDP or TCP, because there it requires the reliable communication. Clear? So this is how your ASA will make a reverse entry in the connection table.
Sir, so there in a real-time scenario, there will be multiple connections, right, sir? So
Correct.
how do we identify, like, it will be like this by nature, like we should identify that it will all be in a reverse direction?
Yeah, all be in the reverse direction on. All the connections will be in the reverse direction. So let's say right now there is one connection from the inside R1. Okay. Let's set it up again. And at the same time, let's say from inside R2 also I'll set up a connection. Okay. And at the same time, I can go to the Windows PC also. From here also I can try a telnet connection. So let me open Studio. And I'll see now. And protocol I want to use telnet. Okay, so now I have set up 3 connections. So for all the connections, you will see that in the ASA, the entries will be reversed only. Okay, there will be reverse entries. This is clear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. So now let's say we have set up as per our topology, we have set these security levels. So from where to where the communication will be and from where to where the communication will not be there. Or I can say from where to where the traffic flow will be there and from where to where the traffic flow will not be there. From which zone to which zone. So if I say that from inside to outside, traffic flow will be there. Yes, going from higher to lower.
So
Okay. From inside to DMZ, traffic flow will be there because going from higher to lower. Okay. And from DMZ to outside, the traffic flow will be there because going from higher to lower. And if we say from where to where the traffic flow will not be there, so from outside to inside will not be there. From DMZ to inside will not be there. From DMZ to, sorry, from outside to DMZ will not be there. Okay. So this is how the scenario will be. So because there will be no traffic coming up from, your outside to DMZ. Okay, there is no traffic that is going to come from your outside to DMZ. So we will have to allow the traffic with the help of ACLs. Okay, we'll have to allow the traffic. By default, there will be no communication. See, right now I tested that, okay, from inside R1 to outside R1, I was able to have communication. Okay, I was able to have communication. I was able to take a telnet. But if the same thing, if I try from outside to inside, so this is going from where? Lower security level to higher security level. So this will not be permitted. Okay. So let's check it. So if I try from outside R1, let's say, first of all, I try ping 10.1.1.125. That is it allowing? So from here, no communication is happening. And even if I'll go and, debug on the inside R1, still I will not find anything. See here. If I say debug IP ICMP, okay. And if I go to the outside R1 and if I try to ping, and if I try to check, is there any entry in my connection table? Nothing is there. No entry is getting generated. And here also no communication. Why? Because from lower security level to higher security level, nothing is permitted. Not even your ICMP, not even your TCP UDP. See here. Again, if I check, nothing. I will not get access. Now, there are certain security level rules. So what are the rules? By default, traffic can pass through ASA from higher security level to low security level only. So we have seen that, your ICMP packets were also going, even though ICMP inspection is not there. So from inside to outside, from higher security level to lower security level, your traffic was passing. But due to ICMP inspection not present, the reply messages was getting dropped. But still from higher to lower, it was going. From lower to higher, the reply was not coming. Then By default, there is no communication between low to high security levels. So from lower security level to higher security level, we have seen from outside R1 to inside R1, I tried to ping also. Okay, there was no communication. I tried to take a telnet also, no communication, and there was no entry generated in my connection table as well. Other than that, by default, there is no communication between the same security level. Okay, so if you have same security levels, then there will be no communication. So see here, let's say go to the ASA, and as of now, if I check show name it, so in the DMG, I have configured what 50. Let me configure 0 once. So interface v0 by 1, terminate, well, not name it, name is already given. Security level 0. Check again. Show name it. So now my DMG and outside zones both have the same security level. So let's check whether the same security level are having the communication or not. Okay. So this is my DMG server. On the inside router, I will stop the video. This is my DMG. What is the IP address here? So interface IP3. Okay, this is router actually, not firewall. Sorry. So IP interface. So IP address here is 10.2.2.125, and from outside R1, I'll try to ping it. Okay, I'll try to say here that okay, ping 10.2.125. That's it. Is there any communication? Let me debug. Debug IP ICMP. And also on the ASA, I'll go and check the connection table. So connection. So no entries are there. I'm not able to have communication. Again, let me try. So you will be able to see that here there is nothing in the debug also, and there is nothing in the connection table also, because they have the same security level. So in the same security level, there will be no communication. Even if I try from DMZ also, let's for example, and debug all, debug IP. So from DMZ, I will try to access what outside R1. So first of all, let me test using the ping 11.1.1.125. Okay. So you can see there is nothing in the debug. Here also nothing, and in the connection table also nothing. And even though I will try TCP UDP also, let's say maybe ICMP inspection is not there. So if I try telnet 11.1.1.125, so you can see not getting an access. Okay, and also in my connection table, no entries there. So by default, in the same security level, there will be no communication. No, even they will not communicate. See, from inside, if I try to ping my management, so my management PC IP address is 100. This is my inside PC. This is the management PC. Okay, so on the management PC, if I check the IP address, IP config, so it is 10.3.300. Let me take 10.1.1.125. So again, here the same thing is applicable. Same rule is applicable here also, that you will not have any communication within the same security levels. Whether it is most trusted or least trusted does not matter. Okay. The matter is they have the same security level. Is that clear? Okay. Then even ACL also do not permit the traffic on the same levels. Okay, so even if you create an ACL, okay, even if you create an ACL to permit the traffic from one zone to another zone with the same security level, so they will not permit the traffic. Okay, even though you create a ACL. So even that is not helpful. So only there is one command that can provide communication. Okay, and that is the interzone command to allow the interzone communication. So what is the command? See here. Let's say if I say on the ASA, same security traffic permit inter interface. Now what will happen? I have given this command. This command will allow your communication within the same security level. So now you can see if I go and print 11.1.1.125, I am able to print. If I take a telnet also, I am able to take a telnet also. Okay. And earlier our management PC was not able to ping the inside router. Now you will see I'm able to ping. So if you give the same security traffic command, in that case, it will permit everything. See, even does not matter ICMP inspection is there or not there. Everything is allowed. Okay, not just TCP UDP, even ICMP is allowed. So all the traffic is allowed by default. Let's say, for example, from the management, I will take GUI access. Okay, I will take the graphical access of the inside router. So I will use HTTP, and even HTTP access I will have. So HTTP is based on TCP. So I'll say here HTTP colon double slash 10.1.1.120. And you see, I'll give username Cisco, password also Cisco. Don't save it, and you can see what device I'm accessing inside Docker. Okay, so all the traffic will be allowed without any restriction. They will be able to have full communication. So that's why we do not generally keep the security level as same on the outside, inside, okay, or DMZ interface. Yes, your inside and management, you keep it as 100. Why? So that you can manage your firewall. Okay. So let me close it. And I'll say here. And also you can test from outside to inside, lower to the now they are having the same security level. So I will say bring 10 to 125, able to ping if I take a telnet also. And this was called debug IP, sorry, telnet I have to take 10 to 125. So you can see I have a telnet export. Okay, so even from the outside, I'm able to take a DMZ access. So this is the reason that we do not keep the security level as same between the DMZ and outside. We keep it different, and we do not give this command. Okay. So when you do not give this command, now you check your communication. So now again, no communication. Again, there is no communication now. This part is clear. And one more thing, that if you have given this command, okay, if you have given the same security traffic command, so it will allow the entire communication between the same security level only. That means this is going to allow the communication here and here only. Okay, because we have a security level as 0 here. So here and here only. Still, if you try to go from inside to outside, only these, okay, from inside to outside, everything is allowed, but only TCP UDP traffic with response will be allowed. So that means those rules will be applicable between the zones, which are for, like from higher to lower, lower to higher, all those rules will be applicable. The same security will work for the same levels only, not other levels. Okay, clear? So next thing we have by default TCP UDP traffic is implicitly inspected from high to low security levels only. So whenever your traffic is going from higher security level to the lower security level, then only your TCP and UDP traffic is inspected. That means only TCP and UDP responses will be allowed. Okay. Other responses, they will be dropped because inspection is not there. And by default, your ASA does the inspection based on layer 3 and layer 4 information only. Okay, ASA cannot perform layer 7 inspection. So these are some of the security level rules. So now I believe your security level concept is clear, right? Okay. Now ways to access this, we will come to it. First, we have to talk about allowing the communication. So that means ACLs in the ASA, that part we have to discuss. So we are good to start today, or you want to start on Monday and you want to practice this thing? Monday will be holiday, Tuesday. Who want to practice? What about other people? Tuesday. Okay, so then it will be better. You guys practice up till now, okay, the security level and all this security level concept, and same security traffic. And if you face any doubts, just drop it in the group. Okay. And I believe everybody is having the access. Anyone who is not having the drive access? Okay, that's good. Everybody is having. How to book lab access? So lab access, let me check. Just give me one moment. I'll check with the lab trainers. Okay, that whether the labs are live. Should be live. Okay, and how you will be accessing is I'll be giving you with a document. Okay, in the document, you have to book your slot. Like this kind of document will be there in this document. Let me pause the recording for a while.